You know what it is. I'm Parlay Hunter,
Life of D Green here, man.
and we got a special guest in the building. We got Obaj in the building. What's good, man?
I'm living a good life, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, of course, I talked to you for a little bit, and I just realized, like, man, this guy knows his ball. He knows a lot about basketball. He knows a lot about the Knicks. I got to get him on the show. So you're here now, and I'm happy to have you, man. So we'll get things going.
Yeah.
First things first, we're on the NBA playoffs, and we want to talk a little bit about what just happened in the NBA playoffs. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on right now, and then what we think is going to happen in the finals. So first things first. We got a Knicks fan in the house. Let's talk about the Knicks. All right, so first question I got for a longtime Knicks fan. Going forward, well, I guess I'll start here. Is the Julius Randle disrespect warranted? Should he be on the team next year?
I think he should be on the team, and I also think the flack that he's getting is warranted. I feel like there's a lot of expectations when you're considered the man on any New York team in any sport. And, in New York City, you make your name in the postseason. You make your name by winning championships. And I think Randall is a really good player. He's a really good player. He has great potential, but until he, demonstrates the type of ball that he's been doing during the season, until he demonstrates that type of play during the postseason, he's just not going to get over that hump and get the respect that I'm sure he wants. But I'm pulling for him. I think he's a good player. I think some guys it takes a little time for them to click. New York is not an easy place to win. And I'm not giving up on him yet, but I think the slack he's getting is deserved.
So my question to you, was this a disappointing season?
Was it a failure?
No.
Was it a failure?
No, I don't think so. I feel like if you take into perspective what the Knicks have been like for the last 20 years, I think it's a good feeling as New Yorkers to get excited about what they could be doing and where we would like them to go. But last year they did nothing. And so the fact that they got to the second round, I think Miami was a beatable team, but losing that first game of the series lost them the home court advantage, and I think that just kind of set the table in a wrong way for the Knicks. But definitely not a season, man. They brought in a really legitimate star, and Jalen Brunson. I think there was some good highlights with R.J. Barrett and Quickly and Grimes and Mitchell Robinson. Like I like the pieces. I like the young pieces they have. And so I definitely wouldn't call the season a failure. Disappointing that it ended the way it did. But to be honest, as big of a Knicks fan as I am, I didn't have championship aspirations because I think I'm more of a patient basketball fan than a lot of people. And that I was just enjoying the fact that, hey, they're giving me something to talk about this late in the season. And it makes me feel good about where they could be next year. What type of moves are they going to make? Who's to say? But definitely not a failure.
So, okay, I kind of feel like now it's Brunson's team because I feel like Brunson kind of took a lot of excitement away from Randall. Personally, I would put Randall on the trade block, see what you can get for him. The big guys like Mitchell Robinson you brought up, they set a presence in the paint now. I don't know if Randall, I mean, before Randall was on the Knicks, he was like a highlight reel, a Duncan highlight reel. It's like I don't know if his presence is. I would test the waters, see what you can get, but I don't know if you can. With that season, with what happened, you're probably not getting full value back in return. So maybe you just, if you can't get a better thing out of the deal, I think you like you said, you continue to build off of that. Dre, you got anything to add?
I mean, I first of all, I want to respect. Oh man. I love what he said about just being realistic. We get some fans on here sometime similar to you guys, the New Yorkers, man, them Cowboy fans. I'm in Minneapolis myself, but I'm a Steelers fan. But them Cowboys fans, they live in that unrealistic practicality. So I respect the fact that it wasn't a failure in your eyes, but you aiming for the success. Because I think the Knicks, it's nothing like coming to the mecca of basketball and the excitement that the Garden was bringing this, this playoff season and just the energy that they got. I think Tom Thibodeau is a great coach. I think he needs to be more respected for what he's done with that team, because if you look at it, it's been what Philly's saying in Philadelphia, it's been a process. And so I think the Knicks got a lot to build on. I think I agree with Parlay a little bit. I would see what you can get for Julius Randle, but me understanding money as well, I know the value for that is a high risk, because I know the Knicks put a lot of investment into that and then just paid for Jalen Brunson. So the return on what you can get is kind of tough financially. So we kind of look at the sports business aspect of things too.
Well, I was just thinking, I mean, this is a lot of hopes and dreams, not likely to happen, but I hear a lot of Knicks fans, a lot of New Yorkers saying, if we could get Embiid for Randall, then we would have to make that trade. But let's just move on to the 76ers real quick. Okay, Harden, they're talking about Harden getting out. Harden might move around again. I'm hearing rumors, Phoenix, yada, 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 but that's all just talk. But real quick, we need to talk about the 76ers. We need to talk about Embiid and Harden. What Embiid said at the end of his last game, saying it was only him and Harden when other guys were outscoring them. So, right now, what is your feeling with the 76ers? Do you go in next year with the same team, or do you move things around? Doc Rivers just got fired, right? So, every head coach is getting fired. I don't know what is the deal with that. That seems like some type of money laundering scheme by the NBA, but I'm going to watch my back when I say things like that. But why are all these head coaches getting fired? Like the Bucks coach got fired. I think Monty Williams got fired. I mean, it's good Tibbs didn't get fired, but everybody's on the hot seat right now. But anyway, let's talk about the Sixers for a second. What are you doing next year with the Sixers?
Just to speak on the coaching aspect, I feel like a lot of times it's personalities not clicking, as opposed to, I'm sure the numbers matter, obviously in any professional sports, numbers matter, but I think sometimes coaches get fired because they're just, they lost the locker room. Players might not respect them. I think honestly, I think Philly needs a younger voice. I feel like they're the type of team where they have some good young talent. They got some crafty veterans. James Harden, I just never saw him fitting with that team when that trade happened. Just his style of play, I couldn't see it as a basketball fan. I like him as a player, and I like the fact that he's the type of guy that can kind of change his role depending on where he is or what type of teammates he has around him. I didn't think it was a good fit from the beginning. But Tyrese Maxey, he's a baller. Harris, it's kind of hit or miss. He's consistent, but he's not the guy that's going to help you win games the way you think he should. And that's like kind of a weird thing. But going forward next year, I'm curious to see who the coach is going to be, because I think that's going to be a big part of how they navigate and whether or not they bring Harden back. Embiid, I mean, I think he's right up there as the best big man in the league with, Jokic and Antetokounmpo. But I think his supporting cast, like there's something missing there. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but there's something missing that I feel like if Embiid is paired with the right combination, like I thought him and Jimmy Butler could be a great duo, because they, Jimmy was the guy that could just sort of be like the enforcer, tough guy, team leader, versus Embiid just showing up and giving you 30 to 40 points and 15 rebounds. I thought that was a nice dynamic if they have a solid point guard to run the show. Obviously, that didn't work out. But I think the big thing is who's going to coach that team next season, and what type of, who's going to be the dominant personality in the locker room. Harden's not there. Who knows what other moves they might make. But they got some nice pieces. I just, they need a general. You need a general who's going to lead the ship. And right now they don't have anybody. So I can't see them doing. I don't think they get further next year than where they got this year.
Yeah, they've had the same group of guys for a while, except for when they added Harden. And then you add Harden, and I agree with you. I don't think Harden is the 1-2 to Embiid's 1-2. Dre, what do you think?
I think I believe that I don't disagree with what both of you said, but I think, if they go the route of getting Mike D'Antoni, it moves back into an offensive-minded team. And the thing that I think that Doc brought was helping them out on the defensive end, bringing in PJ Tucker. That's a key piece to that team that is very slept on. He kind of was the best defender outside of Embiid. And so I think the factor of Philly, they're going to take a couple steps back regardless. I mean, you can't, fire a prestigious coach like Doc Rivers and expect to be great the next year. So I think one thing I don't understand with Embiid is the fact that he played so hard. He's played so hard the last 3 years for an MVP. He hasn't played hard for a championship. And when you have those type of mindsets in the NBA with a guy, you can't really build a team around that, regardless how great he is. So my thing is, I don't know. I don't know what Philly gonna look like. It's been rumors. Harden wants to go back to Houston. The former coach that was with the Celtics is now taking that job, and Houston's got another draft pick. Harden goes back. I don't know. I like the dude that was in for the Celtics that got fired. I think he does a good job with Houston and the young team that they can do. They can make some moves if Harden wants to go that direction. But as far as Philly, rumor Sam Cassell was going to be a coach, another great NBA, great legend and stuff like that. But I don't know. You get rid of Doc, it's hard to mesh that team back together mentally, more so, the abilities of their talent. So I think Philly takes a step back. This makes room for a team like Miami, like a team, like the Knicks to, be that number 2-3 team consistently. I mean, watch out even for Brooklyn, to be honest. Let's keep it real. Brooklyn really made a push when them trades happened at the end with Mikal Bridges and the young bull from North Carolina that went over there too. So
Cam Johnson.
So be leery of what Brooklyn does in this offseason, because they got some weapons over there. And the young boy bull from he was playing with Kyrie and Kevin Durant. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
big man?
No, he was a forward. He scored like 45. He had a consistent 40 point game. I'm gonna look that up while y'all take the conversation, but I'm gonna look that up.
Okay, well, let's talk about what's going on right now. Lakers and Nuggets just tipped off. They're in their second game. 2 days ago, I actually was looking at this, and
Cam Thomas.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, Cam Thomas, another weapon out there.
Yeah, he's nice. He's nice.
So what's going on right now? I was watching, looking at the Nuggets and the Lakers. I was looking at their spreads. A couple days ago, I was thinking, man, I was shocked. So Dre, you were rocking with Golden State before the playoffs started. I'm
rocking with Golden State right now. Shit.
Okay, so
I'm still rocking with Golden State.
All right. So you're not a fair weather.
Until 30 retire, that will be my team, man.
All right. So I was shocked when the Lakers beat Golden State like the way that they did. That was tough. That was dope. But now, okay, they're going. I feel like the Nuggets, they're a different beast. I feel like that the Nuggets. Actually, I was thinking like, man, I wouldn't even be surprised if the Nuggets swept the Lakers. I'm not going on record saying that, but I'm just saying like the Nuggets are a different beast. All right, so right now I'm gonna have to rock with the Nuggets winning this series and actually going to the finals. And I got them beating Boston in the finals. That's just what I got with that. What do you guys think about these Lakers and these Nuggets?
I'm gonna let O go first, man.
Okay. Thank you. That's kind of tough because Denver is a solid team. Like they got some really good ball players that I just like to watch. Guys that can shoot from the outside, drive to the basket, alley oops, and all that kind of stuff. And then you got the big man who's probably like the best passing big man I think I've ever seen. But you got a team with LeBron and Anthony Davis, and I feel like if those guys play the way that they're capable of, even though they're probably a little banged up,
AD just got going.
Yeah, like it's hard for me to count a team out with those two guys. I think it's gonna be important for the Lakers role players and guys off the bench and how much they contribute. Because that's to me, that's what Denver has. Denver has multiple pieces that can get at you. And if the Lakers, role players and bench guys can step up and hold their own, then I think they got a shot. I'm not saying they're going to beat Denver, but at the very least, make it go to 6, possibly even 7 games. And yeah, like it's in the East, it's tough for me because Miami, they beat my Knicks, so I can't really root for them. And Boston, I'm a New York guy. Rooting for Boston is illegal around here. So, it's
I
kind of
mean,
hard
Parlay
for
doesn't know that though. He don't know.
I root where the money goes. So if the money is, if I like the money on Boston,
You look like you from Boston. You ain't even a New Yorker, man. You're supposed to be from YO, man. What the hell's going on?
Hey, man. Hey, love the Knicks.
Uh,
Love New York teams, but I go where the money takes me. All right.
See? Unloyal, man. He ain't from New York, man.
Damn, blasphemy. But I think Denver is good enough to win it all. But I think it's going to be an entertaining series out west. I feel like in the East, as much as I hate to say it, I'm giving Boston a nod just because like they literally just went to the finals last year, and I feel like that's always a good kind of stepping stone where those players they got so close to to the mountaintop that they're hungry. Not saying that Miami isn't, but I think if you look at history in sports, like the team that or we went to the finals and lost, a lot of times they when they get close again, and you got a superstar in Jason Tatum. Yeah, I'm putting faith in him to play the kind of game he's capable of. But I'm gonna go Denver versus Boston, and it's
I will
painful
say,
to say. But,
well, another thing, like I just said, AD's starting to perform. Now you see Bam starting to perform for Miami. So I don't know what happened to these two big men, but they just started playing tough. Bam's, he's on the offensive, side too now, scoring and whatnot. So I think that makes Miami a very tricky opponent. Dre. What do you think, Dre?
I mean, we gotta start with parlay. I ain't no Laker fan. I respect King James, have always one of my favorite, not the number one LeBron fan, but the man ain't getting swept. Plain and simple. He's not getting swept. We know that for sure. Number two,
they're not getting swept. I agree.
Number two, if both of y'all want to think, like we're both NBA historian, all of us are NBA historians here. This series right here reminds me of when Mike played the Jazz in '98. It reminds me of that 97, 98 year. And I was only 4 or 5 years old at that time. I still watch my basketball. I know to date, when you have a great like LeBron, who's arguably number one, number two best player ever, you got to look at it like this. He's going against Nikola Jokic, and then he got Jamal Murray. Two guys that have a ring on their finger, but they do have some great skill and talent. But LeBron has the mindset. He's been down 3-1 versus 73-19. There's no way I can see the Lakers not taking this at least to 6 if they were to lose this series. But why I say it reminds me of 98, because that was one of Mike's best years at his old age. And why it reminds me of that is because Mike's like, I'm not losing to these cats even at 35 plus. So for LeBron to be 38, understanding, I believe the Lakers still got a chance to win this whole championship, just because I think, when we talk about the other things that's going on, LeBron wants to play with his son, and, he wants to retire and go off and do what he does. But I think you gotta finish a Laker career with a championship. And so, he's got 2 years left. Next year, I think that the team gets shifted around because of money issues and things like that. So the best chance for them to win is right now. And so I don't know if they'll win the series, but I for sure know they're not getting swept. In the East, I think this is Jimmy Bucket's time. I feel it. Boston had their opportunity, had their window. Miami proven to go, toe-to-toe with whoever. And my thing is this, Jimmy has willed his way. That game he scored, was that against the Knicks? I'm not trying to throw he scored 55.
Wait, during the season?
That was playoffs. That wasn't against the Knicks. That was Milwaukee. No. That was against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Milwaukee, where he went for 55. And, he has that ability to will a team all the way. And so with that, Tatum always starts to show his flashes of a setback right now during this time, during the finals. And I just don't know if that chemistry of what the Celtics have can pan out with what Miami has. Spoelstra is a hell of a coach. He doesn't get enough credit for what he's done in Miami for 10 plus years. I mean, they try to say it was the Monstars. No, he's a great coach. Defensive minded. He brings that Pat Riley type of mindset, and they build around that. And then you have a superstar like Jimmy that refuses to win. I mean, refuses to lose. He has similar traits of a Giannis, just not the same size. Honest. I mean, Jimmy can get a shot from any spot on the court, man.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to real quick on Boston. I don't think that they click very well, but you have Tatum and Brown, who I think is the best 1-2. Like, I think that Tatum is actually the best player in the playoffs right now, and I think Brown is like maybe second. Like, that's
Brown. A sidebar, right, real quick. I think Brown has the potential to go to the Knicks next year, if not go somewhere else. I think he's ready to be that guy. He has that ability to be that. He reminds me a little bit of James Harden when he was on the Thunder. Like, he's been prepping and prepping. He went from 18 to 20 to 22 to 25 now a night. You know, he's been their second leading scorer for a while. So I think he's ready to get not only paid what he's due, but play on a team where it's in his hands, you know, not riding the coattails of Jason Tatum.
Right. And what you said about Miami, though, I think with the head coach Spoelstra being so good, I think that Miami clicks better than Boston, and I think that's why they won that first game. But just if it does, Dre, I'll start with you. If it goes to Miami and the Lakers, how does that finals play out? And then I'll ask you, I'll ask you Denver and Boston. How does that play out?
I mean, it goes back to the bubble days, and I think this for sure will go 7 again. I just think it's a back and forth when it comes to that point, and then it depends on who's well rested and who's healthy at that point when you get to the finals. And so, I mean, it doesn't match up well for the Heat on paper, but we know on paper it doesn't matter what it means. So it can go 7. And I would say I would lean to the Lakers if it goes to 7 just because of LeBron James. So
yeah, that's definitely a scenario where LeBron gets his. I mean, because if they go against Boston, it's probably a tougher matchup. So
yeah, I think it's definitely tougher.
Yeah, and Opa, what about the Denver Nuggets and the Boston Celtics? How does that series play out?
Wow, I feel like Boston. I'm the type of basketball fan that appreciates good defense, and I feel like that would be a good defensive series. I think Denver has a few more weapons that Boston over the span of a series. I think Denver would get the upper hand, and just being a New Yorker that I am, I like Boston's players, but I just it's hard for me to give them a crown. I'm going Denver.
Yeah, I'm rocking with
true New Yorker, man. Stay true to yourself, man.
Yeah, I have to. But I like. I'm a Tatum fan. I like Jaylen Brown. I mean, I've heard rumbles about him wanting to get out of Boston. If the Knicks can get him, we'll take him.
Oh yeah.
He's a baller.
My theory, real quick. I've always told Parlay, you got too many left-handers on that Knicks team. You got to get rid of one. And it's hard. Yeah. That's a weird stat, but nobody really looks at that except for the real Knicks fans.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, we'll ship off RJ and give us Brown.
Yeah. Yeah. You might have to ship off RJ and Randall, to be honest, and maybe a first or a second next year.
Yeah, they got a lot of good pieces. They can trade.
But I mean, if you throw in Jalen Brunson, you throw in Jaylen Brown, and now you have Mitchell Robinson with Emmanuel Quigley, that's a way better look. It still got length on the defensive side, but that's a way better team that it looks like on paper. So
yeah.
All right, so that's our show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Opa, for coming by, man. It was a pleasure. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
man. Opa, man, floor is yours, man. Hey, anywhere they can get you social media contact. What else, man? Just tell us a little bit about yourself real quick, man, and share kind of what you do in the community out there. Man.
So I am a New York City native by way of Brooklyn. Been a diehard Knicks fan since the Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason days. By day, I am a music teacher at a high school here in the Bronx in New York. And by night, I'm a DJ and a music producer. So, music consumes my life. My IG handle is OBAHNYC, Obaj NYC. I'm old school, I like the classics, funk and soul and R&B, 90s hip hop, throwing some house music, Latin, Brazilian, African music. I love anything with a nice groove and a vibe. And I love basketball. I played ball when I was in high school, was on a varsity team, and had my dreams of being pro. And once I peaked at 5'6", I was like, that's not gonna happen. So I'm gonna jump into this music thing. And
Hey, said don't be
music has
offended,
worked out.
man. Same as Parlay. He was a 5'8" cornerback, man. He never grew taller than that. So
Yeah. So
5'8" is generous.
but yeah, man, always just love, I love competition in sports. I played a lot of sports growing up. I love competition. I love the camaraderie with teammates but music is my ultimate passion.
top 5 albums, man. Not even. We're gonna go top 5 albums, but let's go top 3 New York rappers all time.
Top 3 New York rappers.
Your top 3.
Okay, Rakim.
Woo!
Big Daddy Kane.
Woo!
KRS-One.
Man.
Yeah. That's a good.
I'm
That's
old
good.
school.
But I rock with that. I'm gonna go with Rakim's in there. I'm not even from New York, but I'm going. Man, this is tough, man. This is tough. I gotta go 5. Let me go 5 because I ain't from New York. I gotta go. No order. Rakim, Nas, Biggie, Hove, and man, it's a tie. It's a tie, man. It's a 3-way tie. My favorites is the 3-way tie for this last spot. I gotta go Kiss, AZ, or Big L.
Wow. Ooh, that's a good list.
10, bro. How many more rappers you want to
I'm just saying that. Hey,
you
I'm
gotta
showing
narrow
my
it.
age.
I'm gonna narrow it down here. I'm gonna say Hove, 50, and Biggie. We'll just go. I think that's a solid list. I love 50, bro. 50 just, get rich or die trying. That's a no skipper.
And man, I'm forgetting about so many more, man. But Big L and AZ, man. Oh man, some real poetic. I can't even forget about anybody from Wu-Tang. Anybody from the Wu-Tang.
Oh yeah, I just finished watching the series on Hulu.
Real
man. Nice, but I'm showing my age. I'm like I said, I'm old school, so
I mean, a real New Yorker puts Rakim in that list. I think. I think every real New Yorker got to put Rakim on that list. So
because he set the table for so many of the guys that you mentioned, that both of you guys have mentioned. So you always want to give props to the originators.
Yeah, and KRS too. Definitely.
I'm an honorary Queens guy, man. My family from Queens. I'm a Mets fan, man. Mets is my favorite team in baseball, man. So I'm honorary Queens, man. Queens get the money, man.
Nice. But what part of Queens do you know?
I know not Highbridge. That's not Queens, is it?
There Queensbridge.
I don't really know. I don't know. I'll find that out. I don't really know.
Hey,
I lived in Queens for 13 years, so
yeah.
Hey man, we gotta wrap it up. Clock's ticking, but thank you again for coming by. Everybody tune in. Bro Bets. We're coming with more. Thank you for stopping by, Opa. Hey, have a good one, man.
Appreciate you guys. Peace.
Peace.